All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to talk about a skill that can honestly make or break a team in the modern world: ethical leadership. And this is something that goes way beyond just job titles and org charts. It really gets to the very heart of how we work together. So let's get started.
First off, I want you to just picture this scene. Put yourself right there, because this isn't some far off hypothetical idea, right? For most of us, this is our daily reality. And how we navigate this, well, that's what separates a team that just gets by from a team that absolutely thrives.
So, to kick things off, let's build our foundation. We're going to break down the core principles, the big ideas that really define what it means to lead with integrity. That way, we're all speaking the same language.
When you really boil it down, ethical leadership is all about having a strong moral compass. It means you're making decisions you can stand by, decisions that aren't just good for the company's bottom line, but for the actual people you work with every single day.
And that leads us right to inclusion. And this is such a critical piece of the puzzle. It's just not enough to have a diverse group of people sitting in the same room. Inclusion is the real work. It's the constant effort of making sure every single person feels valued, feels heard, and feels like they can actually bring their unique perspective to the table.
You've probably heard this analogy before, and for good reason. It's one of the best ways to get it. Diversity, that's the mix of people. That's the invitation list. But inclusion, that's what you do with that mix to make it gel, to create that real sense of belonging where people feel safe and fired up to contribute. And all of this, the whole thing, is built on a foundation of respect. And what does that look like, practically? It means putting your phone away and truly listening when someone's talking. It means taking ideas seriously, no matter who they come from. And it means watching out for those stereotypes or little offhand comments that can make a teammate feel small. It really does set the entire tone for everything else.
Okay, so we've got our core principles down. But why has this whole conversation become so urgent? Why is it so central to our work lives right now? To really get that, we need to take a quick look at how we even got here in the first place. If you rewind the clock, the traditional workplace was a pretty rigid, top-down kind of place. But as society started to change, thanks to these incredibly powerful movements for equality, we began to realize that old model wasn't just unfair, it was also pretty ineffective. And that whole evolution has led us to this really crucial understanding. Diversity isn't just a buzzword, it's a huge strategic advantage. And look, the results are crystal clear. This isn't just about feeling good, it's about performing better. Research consistently, and I mean consistently, shows that teams that are both diverse and inclusive, like you see here, are way more innovative. They make smarter decisions, and yeah, they ultimately achieve much stronger results. The proof is in the pudding.
All right, let's switch gears and get really practical. This next section is your leadership toolkit. And you know the best part? You don't need a fancy title or a corner office to start using these actions like today.
Okay, let's walk through these. Number 1, practice active listening, and that means phones down, giving someone your full, undivided attention. 2, speak up against unfairness. Seriously, your voice, even in a small moment, can completely reset the vibe in a room. 3, be curious, not judgmental. Ask questions because you genuinely want to understand where someone's coming from. 4, share the credit. A great leader always makes the team the hero. And finally, number 5, admit your mistakes. It's such a simple act, but it builds trust faster than almost anything else. Now, those 5 actions, they're incredibly powerful, but there's a hidden roadblock, right? A little mental shortcut our brains take that can mess with our best intentions. And a lot of the time, we don't even realize it's happening. And it's called unconscious bias. It's those subtle, automatic assumptions we make. Like thinking a younger colleague must be better with tech, or that a quiet person isn't leadership material. The key here isn't to feel guilty about having these biases. We all do. It's how our brains work. The key is to recognize they exist so we can consciously hit pause, challenge them, and make fairer, better decisions. And that brings us to our final and maybe most important idea. We've defined what ethical leadership is, we've seen why it matters so much. Now let's talk about where you fit into all of this.
It's really time we redefine what leadership even is. It's not about being the loudest person in the room. It's not about your title or your authority or having all the answers. It's about your character. It's about the small, daily actions you take to create an environment of trust, a place where everyone feels safe enough to do their best work.
So, look, it doesn't matter if you're managing a global team
Or if you're the newest person on a project, you have this exact same opportunity. You can be the person who really listens, who champions other people's ideas, and who makes your little corner of the workplace more respectful and more inclusive for every single person there.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. This isn't about some massive overnight transformation. It's about small, consistent actions that add up over time. So just looking at this, what is the one thing, just one, that you will commit to doing this week to be the kind of leader your team truly deserves?